officer comes into work
Okay.
and they're exhausted at home, they just got into a fight with their spouse, or their kids were just goofing off and doing things they didn't want, or they broke something, and all those things translate to when an officer comes into work.
Yes.
That translates to how they treat other people. So if we know where we're at in terms of our mental ability when we're walking in the door, and knowing how to check that at the door, it has a direct impact
I agree.
on how we treat people out on the street.
It's about how do we treat each other fairly, equally, how do we treat each other with respect and dignity. And when we do that, it transforms into the community that we serve, that people are then treating each other that way, and it just keeps the culture changing in different ways. And so I definitely want you to know this is important training, and we're seeing this nationally as an issue of people just don't treat each other with respect. And it starts with us, especially in law enforcement, of treating people right.
Plays a critical role in identifying, hey, what's going on that you're having a struggle? And in fact, I can even give you an example.
Go ahead.
So we had the RITE training and brought it into our agency. We taught every agent or every officer within our department that RITE training. We also posted over the entire department all the things that we learned in that training, being this attitude ladder, if you will, of your emotions.
So an attitude
Where
adjustment.
are you at today? Exactly. Are you in love and happiness at the top of the ladder?
Yes.
Or are you really all the way at the bottom? But we don't want you living at the bottom. We want you living at the top.
Yes.
But that ladder played really important for an officer that came in, worked third shift, had issues at home and things that were going on. His partners on that shift recognized that he was having difficulty. We empowered them as leadership to take this responsibility upon themselves.
Right.
They made a good decision, and because they made a positive decision and we allowed that officer to go home for the night,
right.
I'm telling you what, that became the chatter of the department.
That small little intervention, if you will, by his fellow officers maybe stopped something from escalating out on the road.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, you know, I think about it this way, that he was on a car stop or he was out on some kind of call and things just went south.
Right.
You know,
and that's usually how it
attitudes
happens.
start flying,
That's usually how it happens.
contempt of cops starts occurring.
Right.
And because we had these things put in place, very small things, that could make a huge difference down the road, lessen the liability of our agency, reduce the liability for me as a police chief. That's exactly what we need to see when we talk about reform.
You have people that bring you down to the bottom of this ladder, whether it's a manager, whether it's an employee, whether it's an inmate we're dealing with, you know? And in order to do our jobs correctly and be the people who we're supposed to be, we have to find ways to progress our way up.
I'm standing on gratitude, like over the top, hooked in on top of love, and I'm like balancing.